This week, we're taking on an issue that affects all of us. Yet it's often one of the most misunderstood and increasingly one of the most politically weaponized. And that's the conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion, otherwise known as DEI. Now, opponents of DEI have a very clear strategy. They want to demonize diversity, they want to invalidate equity, and they really want to block inclusion. And that's because DEI isn't new. I know it feels like you've been hearing about it a lot recently, but it's been around for more than 240 years, basically since the start of the country. And even more concerning to those who oppose it, it's working. You see, as our nation has evolved, we have done the work of actually making our country match our mission. And as we continue to evolve, those who oppose these foundational values of diversity, equity, and inclusion, they're panicking. Since the country got started, DEI has been the way we've built ourselves. It's the way we've opened doors of opportunity for millions. It's the way we've responded to the terrible mistakes that we've made and how we've corrected ourselves when we realize that we have more work to do. Now, we tend to think about DEI only in terms of race and gender, which is absolutely accurate. But it's that and it's so much more. Yes, it's the 13th Amendment that outlawed slavery. That was a DEI law. But so was the 19th Amendment, the law that gave women the right to vote, and Title IX, which bans sex discrimination in education. But there are other DEI laws that have expanded access. You've got the Americans with Disabilities Act, the Fair Labor Standards Act. You've got Title I, the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, which funds the poor students in our country. Not to mention the Family Medical Leave Act and the Respect for Marriage Act. Each time our country has corrected its bad actions and enacted new laws to prevent or remedy discrimination, that's DEI. And more importantly, these laws have created new avenues for advancement and for success for more people. We're talking veterans, young people, the poor, all of whom simply want their shot at the American dream. You'll hear a little passion in my voice because DEI is important to me. You see, my grandfather was conscripted into World War II and the Korean War. And yet each time he returned home to Mississippi, he was legally denied the right to vote until he was in his 40s. It took DEI, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965 to grant him the full measure of citizenship. We know that in our country, we often have to take steps to make right what was once done wrong. And that's why last year I founded a series of organizations that together are known as the American Pride Rises Network to defend and expand DEI, because I fundamentally believe in the American dream. Now, the fact that I had the right and the ability to found these organizations that are challenging the cowardice of Meta and Walmart and McDonald's, that's the power of DEI. Because it applies to everything from education to economic opportunity to electoral power. In short, it's about doing things right. But it's not just the people who've been historically blocked from opportunity who benefit from DEI. The good news is that, and studies show, that investing in DEI actually works for all of us. It's a net positive. NASA understood the public benefit of DEI. We wouldn't have gone to the moon if not for a brilliant Black woman mathematician, Katherine Johnson. Her work laid the foundation for the Silicon Valley Titans and wannabe space explorers. You see, a lot of us have forgotten or never knew how important DEI was to our country. And with the second Trump administration about to begin, dismantling DEI is a top priority for his administration and Project 2025. When they mock and lie about what DEI is, they are being very clear about their intentions: to resurrect barriers to opportunity and cut off access to the American dream. Now, it is tempting to hear these terrible headlines and give up. But here's where we come in. At Assembly Required, we believe that we can and should tackle the challenges that society faces, no matter how big they seem. In fact, the opponents of DEI are counting on us to not fight back. The best way to meet their opposition is by understanding what's at stake, speaking up about our support, and demanding our leaders take action.